Hi everyone, in this video the Antonio bot is going to play the Nelson bot on chess.com, so this should be an interesting match. If you guys do not know about Nelson, Nelson likes to bring out the queen out early. So let's see what happens. Antonio moved the pawn to e4. And Nelson has the black pieces, of course, and Nelson moved the pawn to g6. Let's see what Antonio's gonna play. Okay, he decides to grab the center by moving the pawn to d4. Nelson moves the pawn to e6. Let's see what Antonio does. He moves the bishop to d3, and then this is very interesting. Nelson is moving the pawns in the opening. I thought he was going to bring out the queen. Okay, Antonio moved the knight over to c3, and then Nelson moved the bishop to b4. Let's see what Antonio does. Okay, Antonio gains more space by moving the pawn to e5, and let's see what Nelson does. Okay, finally, Nelson is notorious of bringing out the queen out early, and that's exactly what he does by moving the queen to h4, and the queen's attacking this pawn, and also this pawn not safe for the queen to take any of these pawns now. Let's see what Nelson is gonna do. Okay, he moves the bishop back. I'm not really too sure why this bishop's not being attacked, but the bishop goes there. Antonio, he decides to a castle. And then Nelson moved the pawn here. Notice that Nelson, he's not moving the knights and the bishops out, so this is not good. Uh-oh. This knight is threatening to go knight to d6. Let's see what Nelson is going to do about this. Okay, Nelson moves the bishop to b4. It does control the d6 square, and my goodness. Okay, bishop takes pawn, and then Antonio's bishop is attacking his queen. Nelson decides to move the queen back. It's not safe for Nelson's queen to capture the bishop because of the knight. So the queen goes to h5. And let's see what happens. Okay, Antonio moved the pawn to c3. It's attacking the bishop. And then Nelson moved the pawn to d5. It is attacking the knight. And then Antonio decides to do en passant. Okay, I like that move. And then Nelson moves the bishop to a5. So we'll see what happens. Okay, Antonio moved the pawn up to f3. And Nelson, what is he going to do? Move the knight to d7. Okay. Okay. I do like Antonio's position. Antonio just moved the knight over to f4, and it's attacking his queen. And what's going to happen? Oh, so if you guys notice, I believe that this queen is trapped. It's not safe to go here. Here, it's not safe to go here. It's not even safe to take the bishop. It's not safe to go here or here. So Nelson's queen is officially trapped, and Nelson decided to move the pawn to f5. Nelson is in big trouble, everyone. Okay, knight takes queen. And let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, Nelson is not doing too well. He just moved the king over to f7. I think Antonio's gonna win. Antonio should win this game. Okay. Nelson, what do you do? Okay, Nelson moves the pawn to h6. And let's see what happens. Okay, Antonio moved the pawn up here. It's attacking the bishop. And let's see what Nelson does. I hope he moves the bishop. Yes, he does. So he moves the bishop over here. It's attacking this pawn. That means this pawn is pinned. And Antonio moved the knight over here. And if you guys like watching my videos, I do invite you to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to check out my club on chess.com. Join, and if you do, if you're brave enough, I hope you guys can play in my online chess tournaments. Prizes are given to the first place winner. Okay, let's get back to the game. Okay, Nelson moved the knight over to f6. It's the d knight that goes to f6. And let's see what Antonio does. He moves the knight back all the way to f4. And let's see what happens. Okay, Nelson moved the rook over to b8. I guess, well, yeah. I don't really like Nelson's position right now. Like, this pawn is pretty strong. And look at these two knights. They are very strong. Okay, Antonio moved the rook over to e1. And then the king goes to g. Okay, yeah. So Nelson moves the knight and the king to g7. And let's see what happens. Okay, notice that Antonio did take the pawn. It's safe to take this pawn because this knight is protected. Let's see what Nelson has. Let's see what Nelson did. Okay, bishop takes, and then I'm assuming that Antonio will take the bishop, and that's what he did. The knight's checking the king, so Nelson decides to move the king back to f7, and Antonio captured on f5 with the bishop. It was safe to take that pawn. And let's see what Nelson does. Okay, Nelson moves the rook over to e8. One thing I've noticed is I noticed this knight on g8, it has not been moved out yet. So Nelson's position is not the best. Okay, the knight goes here. It's attacking this rook. The pawn is protecting it. Let's see what Nelson does. The king goes here. Okay, very interesting. Nelson is not playing too well right now. So this is kind of interesting. I thought that Nelson was going to play better than this. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Nelson moved the knight back. This is very difficult for Nelson right now. Antonio is in a completely winning position. Just check out these bishops, everyone. Okay. Antonio moved the knight over to c7. And then Nelson moved the knight back to f6. This is not too good for Nelson right now. Finally, Antonio finally moves the queen out to b3. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, so Nelson, he moves the king to g7. And let's see what happens. Okay. Antonio is going in for the king. The knight goes to e6. It's attacking this king. This king can't go here or here because of this bishop. Notice the king can't even go to f8 because of the knight. Nelson is in big trouble, everyone. Let's see what let's see what Nelson does. Okay, he moves the king. Yep, he goes over here. Okay, and Antonio moved the knight over to d8. Notice, like, this is double check, everyone. And let's see what Nelson does. Okay, he goes. Notice the king can't go over here because Antonio's rook is controlling these squares. So Nelson moves the king over here. And Antonio moves the queen to f7. And that's a checkmate. Let me know what you thought about this video by commenting below. And also, I do encourage you guys to check out, join my club on chess.com. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I do invite you to do that. I also invite you to watch more of my videos. Also, check out my Twitch channel. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.